ideas spin, revelations begin. Welcome to Mind Roulette.
Welcome everybody to today's episode of the Mind Roulette, where conversations are as raw as the beats at a beach party. Today we're spinning the deck, not just the roulette deck, but we're spinning the music deck with one of the most polished DJs that I have personally met. A trailblazer who's mixed more than just tracks. She's mixed determination, talent, and a dash of kindness to create a career that is inspiring as it is inevitable. Joining us from the heart of the vibrant Middle Eastern music scene is a renounced, the remarkable Miss Sarah Assaf, who is better known to the world of music as DJ Pink JC.
How are
It
you
was
doing
quite an
today?
intro, no? So tell me, look, how's everything with you? How
Life is good, honestly. Can't complain much. Blessing after blessing. I can't say much about it.
Well, I need to give you the platform to introduce yourself, sorry, to our audience, basically, and just give them a
Mhm.
brief snippet of who is.
So, do you want to ask a bit like more questions, or do you want me to
No,
just go
let's
for
just
it?
kick it off with just getting introduced to each other. And
Okay, cool. So I'm Pink JC. I'm basically a DJ slash artist. I play instruments. I was in a band for most of my life, and when I started DJing, I just basically ركيت على الموضوع أكتر شيء على الموسيقى بهالناحية. حسيت this is the future right now. This is where I belong. Let's say بهالperiod. I'm Lebanese. صار لي تقريبا 6 years DJing. بس بلشت DJing in big clubs, so ما كان عندي start كتير خفيفة. Let's say مش إنه I didn't climb the ladder شوي بلشت من فوق وكملت. And that was like a lucky card for me. I have to admit. And now I'm based in Dubai. I play in Dubai, and I go to Lebanon once a month to play in Lebanon as well, because I have my crowd there as well. And this is really it. This is really it.
superb, that's amazing, man. I wanted to tap on things. I wanted to tell everyone my side of the story on how did we get to know each other. Maybe you know, maybe you do, maybe you do remember, maybe. So basically, there was this one night that my friends were out in Dubai, and I was still in Abu Dhabi. And it was supposed to be like a boys' night out, etc., and all of that, and they kept pushing for me to come to Dubai. I
Okay.
was very hesitant as usual, like to just drive, just too much. So basically, I was convinced. Nonetheless, story cut short, I was convinced to go, and I went. And the place that I went to is called Monkey Bar. Okay. And one of my
Okay.
favorite places, there you go. So I can see a smile of your face now. So
Okay.
there we go. So I reached to the place, and one of my very close friends was very, like, he was speaking so highly of the DJ, and like, bro, you have to come. The music is amazing, this and that. Quick disclaimer, I was and I still am a DJ. I have DJed for about 9 to 10 years as a hobby. Yeah,
Nice,
actually
nice.
a bit
That's cool,
more,
man. That's cool.
But we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this during the episode at a later stage. So basically, I go in and okay, I'm like, the music. I'm like, oh, okay, the music is fine. I mean, it's not as he hyped it up to be. So I go say hi to my friends, etc., and this and that, and then we basically go to the bar. The minute I go to the bar and order the drink, and proper music started playing, and I'm like, whoa. And I turned and I'm like, okay, I mean, that's good music. I mean, that's not it's not the commercial music that we used to listen to when we're in Dubai. Let's put it this way, okay? The music is just the
Okay.
same from one place to another. So you started hitting it with old school R&B, old school hip hop, and this and that. And I'm like, okay, now that's interesting. And then the vibe starts picking. And another disclaimer, guys, I went to the bar, but I wasn't drinking that night. I decided to do a sober night. So I was fully sober. So in case someone blames the alcohol on that, no, I was fully sober. And then the music started becoming better and better and better and this and that. I'm like, whoa, this is sick. And then you have this thing within you that you grab the crowd towards the DJ deck, and then you start doing your own shenanigans and jumping up and down and this and that. So I had this like so my friends were all like moving towards there, and I swear to God, I have to go see who the hell is this DJ, because I've never heard this type of music in a long while in the UAE, let alone in Dubai. Okay,
Wow.
so that's how we met. Actually, I actually shook your hands and I'm like, "You're a
Okay.
sick DJ." I'm like, "You're a really good DJ back then," and you were just, of course, hyped up. You're high on the vibe and on the frequency, and you were just jumping up and down. I'm like, "All right, man, she's really good." And thinking about it, honestly, I thought you were at least in your 40s, because
Oh,
the type
wow.
of music that you were playing, some of the songs that you were playing, not a lot of commercial DJs in their 20s, let alone their 30s, would actually know, unless they really know music. See, that's where I
Yeah,
wanted to kind
yeah.
of say.
Thank you. Thank you
But
so
yeah,
much.
but that
I
was
had
very
no clue, by
interesting.
the way, that this is how we know each other. So
I know,
I'm
I know,
surprised right now, and I like the vibe. I like this. I
I
like
know.
where
I
this
mean,
is
that
going.
pushed me towards basically approaching you and to do the podcast episode, because I wanted to get to know you as a person, because I mean, DJs usually basically shape up their personalities with the way they perceive themselves in front of the crowd,
Mm,
and let along the music that they play. But it's more of the personality
yeah,
that you project while performing the craft or the art that you do. And a lot of the DJs that
I
I've met
confess
were
agree.
very plastic. You, on the other hand, and that's honestly, take it as a compliment, but that's genuinely how I felt, that you were literally just floating. You were just in a zone that you didn't care or didn't give a crap about if the music you were playing is good or it's up to par with the crowd or not. You were just having fun. And that is the beauty of
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. You have to be there. You have to be there. You have to be present. You have to be in your element, and this is the trick.
this
This is
is
the
a trick.
secret to DJing.
This is a trick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a platform to dig deep into things that you would love to talk about, and then I'll jump to my questions. Now we've introduced oneself to the other, and then we got to know how we've met and this and that. What are the things that you've been looking into, digging up, researching, looking into on your day-to-day activities besides?
Basically, I'm opening my own company right now. It's
Ooh.
called Beirut Love Affair. It's basically bringing Beirut, like the essence and the vibe of Beirut, to other countries than Lebanon, obviously, to expats in other countries, in Dubai and Europe, maybe Canada. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people to party in a Beirut vibe, but in different countries. I'm trying to create safe spaces for people to be themselves, for people to have access to the DJ, um, to feel like they're like we're all in one room, we're all equal, and we're all here just to have fun, just to explore. So this is what I've been up to recently, basically.
Superb. Actually, that's a very fun idea,
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
Because maybe in Lebanon, like I've lived in Lebanon for a couple of years. I mean, bringing a vibe of such magnitude is very nice. However, don't you think that there are a couple of businesses with the same concept in Dubai specifically that was brought in from Lebanon? Wouldn't that be an
There
obstacle for
are a
you?
couple of concepts. No, not really, because honestly, it's gonna be my own music, my own productions. It's gonna be really how I experienced Beirut as a DJ. So I'm
Okay.
gonna be putting my own imprint in the project. I'm gonna be collaborating with a lot of artists that didn't have the opportunity to have platforms to explore their talent, to expose their talent as well. So it's not about getting the best DJs that already have good names. It's about really giving chances to people that actually want to play but didn't have the right PR. Let's say, I want to
Right.
go for talent. I want to go for music. It's not gonna be like it's not gonna be commercial oriented, let's say.
Okay. And will you be bringing majority of your people from Lebanon, the people that you wanna have them play, like so, or is it gonna be like all around you bringing people from here, from Lebanon, from X, from Y and Z? What's your, let's say, model when it comes to this?
Um, I think I'm gonna be bringing people from all around the world. I want everyone to have a chance to do this. I'm gonna be bringing Lebanese vibes when I play, of course, but I want this platform to be as open as possible, and I want this platform like our target audience is not just Lebanese expats. It's basically people that know nothing about Beirut and they want to come and see what Beirut is all about.
Because
From the
you
vibe, from like yeah,
carry on, carry on,
tell
carry
me.
on. I'm loving the. I love the concept of new businesses and this and that, and with the passion I can see within you. I'm trying to understand where are you trying to reach with this. So carry on. Yeah, you were
Okay,
saying.
basically, our generation, between like 25 and 35, let's say, we all
Right.
had to, most of us, had to leave the country because of political and economical situation. It was very
Yeah.
bad. And we really didn't have a choice, We just had to do what we had to do to carry on, to build a good future. And I feel like this is a bit unfair when you're in a unfamiliar country where it's not really your choice to do so. So what I'm trying to do in this party is actually to bring the Lebanese culture, not the old vintage Lebanese culture of my parents or grandparents, our Lebanese culture that we had to let go of because of the situation. So I'm not gonna go for, let's say, I'm gonna say anything. I'm not gonna go for debke, let's say,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
debke is not for our age range. I'm gonna go for the stuff that we lived when we were 19, 20 in Mar Mikhail and Badaro, in Juni. Like I want to give this vibe back to the community. I want people to feel like they can find a home outside of home. Let's say.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, that is nice. Actually, that is pretty nice. With the statement that you just made, could be your actually opening opening act
Yeah.
of the place. But that's
Mhm.
very admirable actually, and it's good that you mentioned about things about that you guys were forced to leave and establish a platform of yours, because I'm sure you've wanted this business idea to happen in Lebanon, right? I mean, was this something that you've
Yeah.
always had in your mind, or is it something that developed due to the circumstances that you were put in and the relocation and the
Honestly, in Lebanon, before leaving, I used to do my own parties. We used to do Marchand de Rêve. It was a bit different from anything that was going on elsewhere. It was a bit exclusive. It was based on house parties. And personally, as a DJ and as an artist, I really like personal parties. I don't like just like getting 500 people and not really feeling these 500
Mhm.
people around me. I'd rather have 200 people and be one with the crowd. Like as you experience, like the experience in Monkey Boy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I've started in Lebanon going for the underdogs, for people that have didn't find themselves in let's say commercial parties, super like popular parties, let's say, that want places where they feel safe, where they feel included, where they feel like they belong. So it started from this idea, and when I left Lebanon, I felt like this idea is much more needed abroad, because really Lebanese people all over the place, and they don't have one center to feel like, okay, this is it, this is our home, this is where we belong. So
Yeah.
this is what I want to do.
I could vouch for that, to be honest. You guys do have this, that we throw us anywhere and we'll manage to survive and then adapt and become
Yeah,
something, to be honest. And
yeah,
specifically when it comes to anything related to F&B or nightlife or entertainment and whatnot. I mean, I think a lot of the businesses, a lot of the top dog businesses that were or still are to some extent in Lebanon have been migrated to Dubai in specific. From the
yeah,
Arabic nights, I mean, Antica, this, that. I can't remember the name of the places, but there was a lot of places for, like that is Lebanese owned, and they just brought in the vibe from Lebanon to Dubai. That's why I went and asked you, what makes you different from all those people? Why, like all
yeah,
of them are doing this, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of basically you guys are not letting go of the culture that you guys have.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
taking culture
yeah.
with us. And by culture, I don't
Mm,
mean what you just said, the depke and etc. and all of that. I mean basically the environment or the nature that you guys were brought up in. You're taking it with you, putting it in a suitcase, and boom, let's go. We're moving to Dubai. We'll move to Dubai. We'll
exactly,
open the suitcase, and we'll. That's
exactly,
amazing, man. I'm
exactly.
so happy. I'm so happy to know this, and I really do wish that it excels. What at which stage is it in? Which stage are you in right now?
I think in 2 months we're gonna be ready to launch.
Really? Oh, that's soon. That's very soon.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
that's
I've been
very
working
good.
on it maybe for the past 6 months, 7 months. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then, is it going to be like a physical place at the beginning, or have you guys looked at the places, etc., and all of that, or not?
We have a lot of offers right now going on. We have a lot of deals. We have a lot of negotiations going on.
See, I'm trying to take
And we just
spoilers
want to
out
go
of
for
your
the
mouth. I'm trying to get spoilers out of
yeah,
your mouth, but I
yeah.
know you're just spinning around it
Gonna
and
be
not
a
giving any
bit
intakes.
hard.
But
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit hard. Everything's ready. You're gonna be the first person to know.
that's good. That's good.
Trust
I'm
me.
so glad. I'm glad. Right. Going. Let's go back in time, to be honest, and I would want to tap into your brain and get to
Mm.
understand on why did you choose this lifestyle? Why music? Why DJing? Why not another creative major without going in?
Honestly, um, I was 3. I started playing the piano. So basically, this is how I started to explore my creative side, let's say. I turned 9. I started playing the guitar. Keeping in mind that I never stopped playing any instrument. I just added instruments into my knowledge, let's say. And then at 18, I started playing the drums and then the bass. So I explored everything that has to do with instruments, with music in that sense. And I majored in audiovisual, and more specifically, I majored in sound engineering and film sound designing. And I worked in this domain for 5 years. I really found myself in it. To school, I did projects to Canada, to Germany, to France, and Lebanon. Like I was all over the place. And then I had the opportunity to go on stage. Um, I'm going to tell you about it a bit, like in a bit, but
Yeah.
in more details. But I had the opportunity to actually go on stage for the first time in my life in a huge club. It was called the Garden. It was one of the biggest clubs in Lebanon. And I tried everything, like everything that has to do with music, everything that has to do with sound waves. And up until this point, I never really actually felt like home. But when I was on stage and I hit the play button, it was the first time in my life that I felt like I was home. And this changed everything for me.
Ah, wow. I mean, you have to thank the person that brought you into to the stage. I mean, that
Of
person,
course, of course, of course. It's honestly it's DJ Lethal Skills. I'm sure you
Mm,
know him. He's very well known in the Middle East. He's a scratch DJ,
heard of
and
him,
it's
yeah.
Hiba, yeah, and Hiba Abu Haidar. I like shout out to Hiba and Lethal Skills. They were the ones that actually got me here.
Wow, that is interesting, and the
Yeah,
rest is history. And the rest is
Exactly.
history. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but when like the feeling that you get, I want to dig more into that. The feeling that you get when you're on stage. How does that make you uh, progress or feel as a growing artist or since you
Honestly, it's like, okay, it's like you have all these problems in your life, you have all these worries, you hear the news, you're always overwhelmed with Instagram, with social media, with people talking this and that. And when I'm on stage, all of this disappears.
Hmm.
Nothing matters but the music itself. Nothing matters but the people that are in front of me. Nothing matters but the community right now. I really like when I'm playing, it's all about the community. It's all about really having a good time. It's all about really creating this space where people can actually forget about their worries. And this is very rare. Like you go do sports and then you go back home, you turn on the TV, there's news everywhere. You take your cell phone, there's news everywhere. It's the only space where I feel like truly disconnecting
Yeah.
and having the freedom to really express who I am and what I am and what I'm made of. So this
It's
is
so interesting, to be honest. It really is interesting because if you think about it, or most of us as Arabs, me being originally Iraqi, you being Lebanese, and the countries that have, let's say, technically suffered throughout the years, you tend to
mm,
see a lot of creativity popping out of countries that went through this,
yeah.
and you've kind of solidified the idea or the thought in my mind wherein you just said that it's the thing that makes me disconnect. It's the thing that gets me away from the news, from this and that. And this is the art of creativity that stems you out of the real life and makes you want to create something and get lost in it, and just come back when your brain is fully recharged and whatnot. And it is such an interesting us from like from Iraq, from Palestine, from Lebanon, from Syria, etc., that are super creative, very very creative people, and whether they draw or music or this and that, and they excel in it big time. And mostly all of
Mm,
them relate back to what you just said, like the news or the incidents that happened in my country that made me want to leave, and this and that. So it's such a like a very very rich concept that we feed from.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And honestly, for me, creativity mainly comes from pain. Honestly, it's like when you
Yeah.
want to escape pain, you have to get creative to escape pain, and this is how it all starts. And when you're in countries where everyday news is really tragic, where you're in countries where there's like not a lot of stability, you have to really create something. You have to really create an atmosphere where you feel safe, where you feel heard. You have to push through. It's not a right, it's not a simple right that you can obtain. It's something that you have to fight for. And this is how artists are created, basically. They're
Yeah.
mainly warriors, and then they express themselves as artists.
Yeah, but that means the rewards are tastier, don't you think? Like
That
when you
what?
seek that the rewards that you seek at the end are much tastier. They taste super nice because
Exactly, because
you've worked for
you
it.
know what you had to went through. Yes, yes, yes. You had to go through a lot to really get to where you're at. So
Exactly.
you actually appreciate what you have. Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean, look at you now. We were just talking about you opening the business, etc., and all that. I'm sure you've had days or mornings where you wake up and you just look. I mean, I was in that place that no one knew about me, that didn't know how my future would turn up to be, and look at me now. I'm a 30-year-old woman who's gonna start her own business, and I'm gonna grow and become this and this and that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest to me, um it was such a hard concept for me to grasp, but once I understood that this level, like this immense levels of gratefulness kicks in, and then it makes you want to, like, you know what, push even more. No, sky's the limit. What, open a business? No, I'm gonna open a second, or do this or do that, or become bigger, and this and that, you know. Super
Yeah,
fun,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
super interesting.
Exactly.
Very hard, very hard, very hard, but I mean, it's
Worth
doable.
it. Worth
Yeah,
it,
it was
honestly. Yeah,
worth
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sticking to music, so give us more brief on the Red Bull competition that you've gone through. I mean, guys, I have absolutely no idea. I've read about it. I know it's super big because I've watched videos, and it's massive, guys. It really is massive. So I'm just gonna let Sarah give us an insight on this and how she managed to weasel her way into the competition.
Okay, so basically, when I heard about the competition, I wasn't really a DJ. I was a sound designer mainly.
Ah,
And uh,
plot
just
twist.
so you know, like being a sound designer technically is way more complicated than being a DJ. Like when you're a sound designer,
How come?
you know way more stuff about, like, because it's more complicated. It's like you need like 3 years of like intense courses to know how to become a sound designer. It's a huge universe, and DJing is mainly you take like one asset of sound designing and you implement it in DJing.
Okay.
So when I heard about the competition, I was already a sound designer. I already played instruments, so music and technical stuff, let's say, they came to me very naturally. And I took a scratching class with DJ Lethal Skills. And from the first session, mainly, okay, so كانوا هن 10 sessions كان المفروض أنا أعملهم تحت أخلص scratching, let's say, classes. It was like a 2-hour session, خلصت 5. So Lethal Skills طلع فيه, he was like, no, do you want to DJ? Like, do you DJ? I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And he was like, okay, I have two things. One, I want you to open for me in the Garden, which was my first gig ever. اللي خبرتك عنها من شوي.
Yes.
And two, there's a competition called Red Bull 3 Styles, and I want you to enter it. I think like you have what it takes. قال لي تعي, it's gonna be held in 1 month. I was like, let's do it. رحت على competition شفته. So I worked super hard on a corporate job mainly for 3 months. I made a lot of money. حطيتهم على جنب. And I spent 9 months بالبيت preparing for this competition.
Wow.
I was doing nothing else. I wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. I do sports for 2 hours. I have breakfast and I start working. And it was super complicated because, it's not about just DJing. You have to be an excellent scratcher. You have to be an excellent musician. You have to learn notes. You have to learn finger drumming. You have to learn instruments. It's a whole universe. So it
Tell
took
the
me
word what
9
finger
months to do
drumming is.
so.
Tell the
Oh, okay.
word what
Finger
finger
drumming is
drumming is.
basically okay, so basically you have a pad in front of you, and each button mainly creates a certain sound, build drumming sounds, let's say. So كيف بدي أفسر لك؟ So when you push على هول الbuttons مع بعض بتعمل a set of drums. And it's very
Yeah.
complicated because it's like you have to use your fingers, it's very accurate. Plus when you go live, like stress تبعك بيكون 90% زيادة.
Yeah, of
So
course.
already
With
جسمك
timings.
بيكون super stressed. Yeah. So it was a journey, and I learned so much about music. We had 9 months. And Red Bull 3 style stands for mixing more than 3 styles per set. And it's a 15-minute set. So I had to go through, let's say, Ethiopian jazz. I had to go through a lot of um, music that culturally, just to
Yeah.
be able to go outside of the box, to be able to really represent what I really feel, like, and to mix several styles. And I mainly mixed maybe 5 to 6 styles in one set, a 15-minute set. Uh, so yeah, this is basically Red Bull 3 styles.
Nice. And then what was the results of it? Just so that people would know. What did you achieve?
Okay, so I performed. I was the last one to perform. There were 5 DJs. I was the 5th DJ to perform. It was insane. My my set was mainly directed towards feminism, towards female artists trying to make it in this business, and how hard it is, and how much you really have to believe in yourself 100% to be able to make it. Because
Yeah.
people really you're gonna get doubted most of the times, just for the fact that you are a woman. And for me, this is not fair, and this is what I addressed in my set. And I performed and طلعت vice champion بهذا الcompetition.
Nice. Nice, nice. You stepped on something very interesting when you just said now when you spoke about fairness to females and trying to strive harder and harder to get where you were. Did you personally face issues of that magnitude as a female while you were pursuing the profession that you are doing?
Of course I did. Of course I did. العالم just for the fact that you're a woman بيحسوا حالهم entitled to tell you what to wear, what to say, how to act, how to present yourself. Um, Automatically, if you're a woman, they start doubting your music experience, basically, what you have to offer, just because you're a woman. So it's not really fair, ka first impression. When you
Right.
go meet someone and they want you to play in their club, and بيعرفوا انه you're a woman, and they're like, okay, انه بنحطك opening بنشوف, ما في
Mm,
there's always
mm.
doubt as a first impression. And this is where I struggled the most, honestly. هلا خلص, I have my name. I'm a well-established artist, honestly. So I have the upper hand. This is I am my own brand. So بدك يعني بدك the whole trip. ما بدك يعني ما بدك the whole trip. I don't care. I move on.
Okay, very
وأكتر شيء I
interesting.
struggled because I dress differently. I'm not very feminine with how I dress. I'm not
Mm,
very feminine with how I perform. And بكتير محلات حسيت I got rejected purely because of that.
really?
Yeah,
That is interesting. And that even is in Dubai. انت عم تحكي
of
even in
course.
Dubai, like, yeah.
Of course.
Wow.
Everywhere.
I mean, realistically speaking, I mean that's a general concept here. I mean, appearances in مش دبي حتى in the GCC in general or whatever and all of that, they play a dominant factor بصراحة يعني, whether we like it or not,
Yeah,
and that's
but
just not female or male.
actually women, it's أكتر موجود هذا الفاكتور أكتر بصراحة.
Really?
يعني فيك إذا تطلع as a man, بتطلع بتيشيرت عادي بتظبط شعراتك بتطلع بتلعب. As woman مجبور
Okay.
تفكري بكتير ديتيلز أكتر. أي تيشيرت بدك تلبس، شو بدك تفرجي من جسمك، ميك اب بلا ميك اب، أي نوع ميك اب بدك تحط، قد إيه بدك تكون feminine on stage، قد إيه بدك تكون neutral on stage. There are a lot of other factors بصراحة.
But don't you think that is the power of the social media that brought what you just said to the table? Because
كيف يعني؟
these what you mentioned now and what you said about makeup,
مم.
about clothing, about this is something that's being propaganded, and I will never use the term advertised because it's propaganded
مم.
to be used in such social media platforms for to deceive women and to make them think that they need to think about this or they need to wear this. والأكبر من إنه to move up to the hierarchy اللي the decision makers that would want to hire a female DJ because
مم.
the female DJ herself is thinking about what to wear and this and that. فهم it's in parallel they think about that as well. So plus they're the decision makers in this. Do you get what I mean? ولا أنا
مزبوط.
you're right.
شوية بس فهمت عليك.
Yeah, it's here and there, but no, yeah, exactly. I felt it, بس إنه you feel like إنه it is being imposed, propaganded by the social media that women have to overthink on what they wear and what they this and what they this and that. وهاي طبعا إنه it
It's
goes
been
up
going
the
on
ladder.
forever, honestly. قبل السوشيال ميديا إنه بلشت الخبرية من أيام ستة وجدة. مش it's not
Yeah,
very recent
yeah.
خبرية.
بس هلا now it's more of on steroids, no? Because it's
صح.
it's
100%.
just everywhere. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
طيب, there we have a lot of things to talk about, but I don't know whether we'll have the time to squeeze all of this in. what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced while getting to the
The biggest challenge that I faced is that I was told and asked to change my identity so many times to fit a certain box so that the bookers and the owners of clubs or pubs or whatever could actually understand who I am, let's say, as an artist, and to be convinced to sell me as an artist. That was the biggest challenge because I was always pressured to change who I was, and on the other hand, I was pushing the other way around. I am an artist, and I chose to become an artist because I want people to see who I really am. This is very important for me, being
Mm.
authentic in front of the crowd. So that was the biggest challenge I had to face, and I had to make a lot of decisions with cutting people off, cutting certain venues off, because of that. And I just believe that I can, if I want to make it, I have to make it by me being purely myself.
who you are?
Well, honestly,
Mm.
it wouldn't be worth it. Why would I want to become an artist and succeed if I'm not really myself? I'd rather not become an artist.
I don't
I'd
think
rather
you
كون
will.
حالي قاعد ببيتي. Exactly. ما فيك توصل if you're not yourself.
Yeah, I don't think you
You
will. I
have
mean,
to have a
you'll.
certain edge. You have to have something, an added value that no one other than you has. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but to tell you the truth, I mean, people always talk about promoting someone being unique and etc. وهالشي بس when you think about it they يعني ال social media effect of it بدهم يخلوا كل حدا إنه literally identical إنه أي حدا that is
صح.
unique in a natural way عم بحكي uh,
Mm.
they don't want that. They really don't want that.
Yeah.
They see you as an abnormal thing, and they want a
Exactly.
normal.
Because they want to be able to understand you. But the thing is, when you persevere in in being whoever you are and you make it, then هون بيصيروا لا ما أنا I always believed in you. ما أنا أصلا كان بدي أشتغل معك كل الوقت. ما أيما because you're different. بس هي من الأول بيكونوا هن عم بيحطوا لك إذا بدك obstacles لا توصل
Yeah,
لشو بدك أنت.
yeah. Would you give us let's say, was there any moment in your career where you thought at some point, and this is it, I don't want to continue, I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There was this one time I felt basically
Yeah.
I felt like in Lebanon I felt like I belonged. You know, I've lived there for 29 years. I felt like I created a safe space for me, for my friends, for my community, and I felt like I belonged. And when I came here, the shock was that ما كان في محل actually where بحس حالي I belong فيه. There was always something missing. And هذه لنرجع على Beirut Love Affair. This is exactly why I'm creating Beirut Love Affair. So كمان بالdomains ذات الشي حسيت إنه ما بشبه حدا، ما بفكر مثل حدا. أوكي يمكن my music I'm a commercial DJ so أكيد في كتير عالم بيدقوا اللي أنا بدقه، بس what I have to offer as an artist as a vibe ما كنت عم لاقي حالي and I was criticized كتير for doing my own thing because هن معودين على شي وأنا عم برجع أعمل شي تاني completely. عم فوت على pub وعم بعملوا festival. العالم عم
Yeah.
بيصيروا على الطاولات هن معودين يقعدوا ياكلوا ماكسيموم بيغنوا بيعملوا هيك بيمشي حاله. I was bringing my own thing وكتير طلع لي backlash إنه ليه كل الوقت ليه why do you dress this way what are you مش إنه who are you what are you it was كتير شي جديد على اللي عم بيشوفوه على شو معودينه. So at some point I felt extremely rejected إنه طب خلص just let me be ما and I felt like إنه إيه يمكن ما بقى يمكن it's not my thing anymore يمكن I should go back to sound designing يمكن لازم أفكر بغير path. But this idea like popped in my head for like half a second مش أكتر and I was like no this is not who I am. I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna make it and they're gonna see me making it and they're gonna be like okay لا بدنا هيك مثل ما أنت عنا and this is what happened.
So what got you out of it is basically a conversation with yourself that made you out of it, or something that some sort of affirmations from your colleagues, your friends, your family, and whatever, and all that kind of stemmed you out of it. ولا كانت هي it's more of like a very one-to-one conversation.
Honestly, kind of four people that got me out of it. First of all, it was my mom that always encouraged me like to being myself fully, because she always told me, like, if you want to become something in this world, you have to be yourself, because the world has a lot of copycats. No one needs copycats. We
Yeah.
need authentic people. And secondly, it was um my best friends, which are Suhaila Zghaib and Andrea Haikal. Shout out to to them. They believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. They always like had my back. They always pushed me forward. And it was Diane Al Hashim, which is my favorite person in the world. She was with me in Dubai. She was my roommate back then, and she witnessed all of this drama going on. And she told me, like, if you give up now, you will have no stories to tell. And this is not you. You're gonna have a story to tell, so go for it.
My God, you're a typical Aries. I know some people hate zodiac signs, but you're a typical Aries. I swear to God, it is insane. It's absolutely insane. But no, that's a very touching touching story, to be honest, and I empathize with it as well and feel for what you just went, because we all have those days where we doubt and ask ourselves second questions on should we continue with what we're doing, etc., and all of that, or should we just stop and let
Yeah.
things be, retire, basically.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly glad that you've reached wherever you are right now at such a young age. To be honest, that is something that is
Thank you.
not easy, and not a lot of people, given the level of resources that you have and which you've built from scratch, from moving from a place of heavy politics, war, unsettlement, etc., and all of that, to a place where you've found your niche and you're excelling in it, and that is absolutely admirable, to be honest. And
Thank you.
I'm honestly honored that we've had this conversation, and I believe that we're even more friends than we were, to be honest. We
Yeah.
actually got to reconnect now and get to know each other on a certain level. I would end this podcast if you would basically give a word of wisdom to people that are climbing up the ladder, not knowing what they want to be. What is the word of wisdom that you would?
First and foremost, just stick to who you are. Stick to who you are. Try to be as true to yourself as possible. Try to get inspired not by, let's say you're a DJ, okay? Try not to get inspired just by listening to new music. Try to get inspired by going to nature. Try to get inspired by getting to know people's stories. Try to get inspired by everything around you that makes you who you are. Not just, don't go for the most basic thing, you know? Try to develop what you know in this life. Try to be a good listener, because a good DJ is a good listener, and it's not just about the music.
Correct.
It's about really listening to life, what it has to offer. Listen.
A good DJ is a good listener. This should be printed. I swear to God, a good DJ is a good listener. That is such a poetic sentence. I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, Sarah, it's been a pleasure to actually talk to you. Before we
Same
leave,
here.
I'll give you the platform to give a shout out to your socials and end this podcast episode with a statement of yours.
سوري ما فهمت السؤال في نقطة عشان البارت بس فهمت السؤال.
That's fine. Before I'm not ما هعطش ولا شيء بالعكس. Before we end, I said, like, before we end this podcast episode, I'll give you the platform to give a shout out to your socials, your Instagram, your Spotify, whatever you're on social media, and plus I'll give you the honor to end this podcast episode with whatever you.
Okay, so basically, I'm mainly on Instagram, DJ Pink JC. You can find me there. It's very easy, and I just want to thank you for hosting me today. I just want to thank you for giving me the space to actually express myself, not to really direct the questions in a way where, like, to really give me the space to express how I really feel and what I really want to say. And that's it. It was a pleasure, honestly.
Likewise, likewise. Well, guys, we'll wrap this episode up, and we'll hope to see you soon, buddy. Best of luck. Bye,
Thank you so
guys.
much. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.